I married my sister's ex-husband. Now she hates me, but I have a secret she doesn't know, a true life story. I never wanted to be that kind of woman. You know, the type who hides secrets under a perfectly painted smile, the kind who walks into a room pretending everything is fine when her soul is screaming. But here I am, sitting across from the man I married my sister's ex-husband and pretending like the whole world doesn't hate me. But let's rewind. My name is Anita. I was always the calm sister, not the loud one, not the rebellious one. That title belonged to my older sister, Amanda. Amanda was wild, beautiful, fearless. She had this charisma that pulled people in like gravity. I admired her for years. When she brought home Michael, I was 17. She was 23. He was tall, dark-skinned, and handsome, with a clean smile and a baritone voice that made even silence seem elegant. I knew, the moment I saw them together, that Amanda had found someone that matched her fire. They got married the following year. I was her maid of honor. I watched them exchange vows, watched her cry, watched him hold her hand like it was sacred. I smiled through it all, clapped, cheered, helped her fix her veil. But deep down, I was trembling. I don't know if it was love back then, maybe just fascination, obsession perhaps, but whatever it was, it burrowed into my heart and made a home there. Michael was kind, intelligent, funny in a quiet way. He wasn't like the guys Amanda usually dated. He had depth. I watched their marriage from a distance, always in the shadows. I never intruded. I stayed polite, supportive. I became a confidant to both of them, strangely. Amanda would call me when they fought. Michael would call me when he needed advice on how to handle her. I was the middle ground, the peacemaker. But things started to shift 4 years into their marriage. Amanda had always been a free spirit, and now she was starting to resent the routine life Michael wanted. She'd stay out late, come home drunk, sometimes not come home at all. I would find Michael waiting in his car outside my apartment, eyes bloodshot from crying, voice shaking as he said, "She didn't come home again, Anita." And I, foolishly, naively, selfishly would let him into my home, offer him tea, hold his hand. Lines blurred slowly, first emotionally, then physically. The first time we kissed, it was raining. He had just come from Amanda's place. They'd had a terrible fight. She'd thrown a glass at him. He was shaking, eyes red. I pulled him in for a hug just like I always did. But that time, he didn't let go. He looked into my eyes and whispered, "Why can't she be like you?" And before I could answer, his lips were on mine. I kissed him back. I let him. I should have stopped it, but I didn't. It became a secret rhythm after that. Michael would show up. I would comfort him. We would kiss. Then we would hate ourselves afterward. But the cycle continued. It always continued. Amanda eventually filed for divorce after 6 years of marriage. No warning. Just one day she walked into Michael's office and said, "I want out." She didn't explain why, but I knew. She had found someone else, a younger man, a musician. Michael was devastated. I was there again. But this time, the boundaries were completely gone. We became a couple almost immediately after the divorce. I moved in with him less than 4 months later, and a year later, he proposed. I said yes. I said yes, knowing full well what it meant. Amanda didn't attend the wedding. She sent a voice note the day before, calling me a traitor, a snake. She told me she never wanted to see me again. My mother cried throughout the ceremony. My father didn't show up either. But I stood there, in white, holding Michael's hands, and said vows that felt both beautiful and tainted. It wasn't until after the honeymoon that the guilt started eating me alive. We were at the beach, and Michael had fallen asleep on the lounge chair beside me. I watched the waves roll in, thinking about Amanda. She and I used to come to the same beach as kids. We would write our names in the sand and let the tide wash them away, laughing. What had I done? But I kept my mask on. I kept being the supportive wife, the doting lover. I cooked his meals, massaged his shoulders after work, laughed at his jokes. But something inside me had cracked open, and guilt started seeping in like blood from a wound. Naomi, my light, my anchor. But even in that delivery room, as I looked up at Michael, I saw a flicker of something strange in his eyes. A shadow, a longing, A name he didn't speak. We went through the motions for the first year. Diapers, sleepless nights, baby formula, and bedtime lullabies. Michael tried. He really did. He held Naomi like glass, careful, reverent, but something was always missing. And I was growing bitter. Every time he hesitated to kiss me. Every time he laughed at a joke but didn't meet my eyes. Every time he clutched that damned wooden box after work, thinking I wasn't watching. I started drinking. Just wine, at first. A glass in the evening to unwind. Then 2. Then 3. One night, when Naomi was 2, Michael came home late. No explanation. No apology. He walked into the kitchen to find me sitting on the floor, back against the fridge, wine bottle in hand, mascara smudged from crying. "You were with her, weren't you?" I whispered. He froze. "What? Amanda, you were with her." He didn't answer. That silence was worse than any confession. I threw the bottle. It shattered against the wall behind him. Naomi started crying in her room. He turned and walked away. Didn't even look back. That night, I slept in Naomi's room, cradling her like she was all I had left. And maybe she was. The next morning, Michael made breakfast like nothing had happened. Scrambled eggs, toast, orange juice. I sat across from him, hollow. "Are you in love with her?" I asked. He sighed. Put down his fork. "I don't know." That broke me more than a yes ever could. I spiraled after that. Lost weight, lost interest in everything except Naomi. I became obsessed with watching old home videos of my childhood with Amanda, looking for signs, warnings, clues to when this sibling rivalry turned into this unspoken war. One night, after Michael had fallen asleep, I opened the wooden box. I knew it was a violation, but I had to know. There were letters, dozens of them, written by Amanda. Some from when they were married, some after they divorced. The most recent one was dated 2 months ago. My hands trembled as I read it. "Michael, I know I hurt you, and I know what we had is gone. But I still think about you. Every day. I don't hate you. I hate myself. Maybe in another life we could have gotten it right. I'm sorry for all the things I never said when we were together. Take care of her. She always loved you more than she should have. Amanda." I dropped the letter like it was on fire. She knew. Amanda knew. All this time, she knew what I did, and she still took the blame. I fell to my knees and sobbed on the carpet. The guilt, it became unbearable. I thought about leaving, taking Naomi and disappearing, starting over somewhere far, where no one knew me, where I could raise my daughter without shadows trailing us. But Michael stopped me. I had packed a suitcase, booked a flight. I was in the driveway when he ran out, barefoot, rain pelting his face. "Don't go," he said. "Why not?" I cried. "You don't even love me." He didn't deny it, but he said something that stuck with me. "I may not love you like I loved her, but I love our family. I love Naomi, and I want to try." So I stayed, not out of hope, but out of duty. Years passed. Naomi grew. She started asking questions. Why doesn't Auntie Amanda come visit? Why don't we have pictures of her? Why does Grandma get sad when I mention her name? And one day, I'll have to tell her the truth. But not yet. Not until she's old enough to understand that love, real love, isn't always clean. It's not always fair. Sometimes it's born from betrayal. Sometimes it survives in spite of it. And sometimes it never heals. Michael and I sleep in the same bed, but we don't dream together anymore. He doesn't say Amanda's name in his sleep these days, but he doesn't say mine either. We live like polite strangers raising a beautiful child. And sometimes, in the stillness of the night, I think about that moment years ago when I could have stopped everything. When I could have told Amanda the truth. When I could have stepped away from Michael's orbit. When I could have protected all of us from the storm that came after. But I didn't. Because I wanted him. And now that I have him, I don't know if I ever truly did. Watch out for episode 2, the final episode, to know how this intriguing family story ended.